Good day everyone, my name is Goddan. So we have this questions that says, using substitution method, solve the simultaneous equations. Number 1, 5x plus 2y equal 10, and that's equation 1. 3x minus 2y equals 6, that's equation 2. Number 2, 4a plus b equal 8, that's equation 1. 3a minus b equals 6, that's equation 2. So simultaneous equation is a type of equation with more than one variable and more than one equation. So the number of variables determine the number of equations. For this kind of question, we have two variables. For the first one, we have x and y. For the second one, we have a and b. So because there are two variables, then there'll be what? Two equations. Now, if I have a simultaneous equation that has three variables, say x, y, and z, for example. If it has three variables, then it will have three equations. That's equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. Now, we have a simultaneous equation with two variables, obviously two equations, and we need to find the values of the two variables, x and y. However, we are asked to use substitution method. Now, for those of us familiar with football, we understand that when substitution is made, what happens is a player comes out and then another player goes in. So it's the same idea when we have substitution method in simultaneous equation. So solution number 1, we have 5x plus 2y equal 10. And then we have 3x minus 2y equal 6. Now, look at this. If I have 3x plus 2 equal, say, 5, for example, what happens? Because we have two terms on the left-hand side, and I have one single term on the right-hand side, it will not be easy for me to find the value of x directly by dividing. So for me to be able to find the value of the unknown, I have to have one term on the left-hand side as well as one term on the right-hand side, such that if I take 2 to this side, it becomes minus 2, and then the one term on the right-hand side will equal 3 after subtracting 2 from 5. So it is at this point where I have one term on the left-hand side, one term on the right-hand side. I can now find the value of x by dividing both sides by the coefficient of x, and we say x is equal 1. Now, on the in our question, we have 5x plus 2y equal 10 in equation 1, right? Now, just like we had here, we can't add two terms together. We can't find the value of the unknowns using two terms on one side. So we must have one single term on the left-hand side so that we can then find the variable of the unknown, the value of the unknown, right, by dividing both sides by the coefficient of the unknown, of the variable. Now, what would have happened is that we would need to add the two variables together, x and y. However, these two variables are unlike terms. They are unlike terms, right? And it is impossible to add two unlike terms together. For us to be able to add these two terms, both of them must be like terms, right? So which means I must either have both variables to be x and x, or I have both variables to be y and y. Then I can add both of them together. And that is where the idea of substitution method comes in. So what do? I need to find a way to ensure that I have y in for the two times, or I have x at the two times. Now, what do I do? Now, in any of the equation, either in equation 1 or in equation 2, let's find a value for any of the variable. So we find a value for any of the variables, making one of the variables subject of formula. So if I decide to make either x or y subject of formula in equation 1, what that means is that I now substitute that value, that variable, now I substitute it in equation 2. This is what I mean. So I have 5x plus 2y equal 10 in equation 1. I can decide to make either x or y subject of formula. So, but then I will go ahead to make x subject of formula. So that means that if I make x subject of formula in equation 1, I will then substitute in equation 2. Now, we'll say make x subject in equation 1. That means that everything that does not have x goes to the other side. So I'll have 5x equals 10 plus 2y crosses, it becomes minus 2y. So we have minus 2y, right? So we can then say 5x is equal, of course, 2 is common, 2, right? And we have 5 minus y. But then, for calculation purpose, it is best we leave our answer as 10 minus 2y, right? So that to find the value of x, what do? We divide both sides by 5. So that we now say that x is equal 10 minus 2y over 5. Right. Now, what does that do? What does that say? We now have a value for x, but in y terms, in terms of y. Now, we make x subject of formula in equation 1. Where substitution method that comes in is that instead of me to have 3x minus 2y equals 6 in equation 2 now, I now substitute this value, which is 10 minus 2y over 5, is the same as x. So I bring x out, substitution, and then I bring this in. So that means that instead of having x now, I'll have 10 minus 2y over 5. So that's the equation 2 now. So I say substitute for x in equation 2. And equation 2 is 3x minus 2y equal 6. Now, instead of having x, I'll have 3 into brackets. Remember, x is being multiplied by 3. Our x is 10 minus 2y over 5, not 3x. So 3 stays. While x goes away, 10 minus 2y over 5 comes in. Substituted now. Then we have minus 2y equal 6. If you open the bracket, we would have 3 times 10 is 30, minus 3 times 2y is 6y over 5, then minus 2y equal 6. Now, what you will now notice is that we now have our variables on the left-hand side to be what? The same. So we have y and y. So they are now like terms. We can now add or subtract them together. Now, but then note, this 30 minus 6y has a denominator of 5. The denominator for 2y is 1. The denominator for 6 is 1. For us to clear this denominator, the fraction part, LCM for all the denominators is what? 5. So what do? We multiply all terms by this LCM, which is 5. Multiply all terms by 5. So that I'll have 30 minus 6y over 5 multiplied by 5 minus 2y multiplied by 5 equals 6 multiplied by 5. All terms are multiplied by 5. This will clear this. So we have 30 minus 6y left, minus 2y times 5 is 10y equal 30. Now you see, at this point, we now have just one variable, but we can't find the value of y yet, right? Because we have 3 terms on the left-hand side, 1 term on the right-hand side. We need to ensure that we have 1 term on the left-hand side, 1 term on the right-hand side. So by collecting like terms, 30 goes to the other side. It becomes, we have minus 6y minus 10y left on the left-hand side equal 30, and this becomes minus 30. So minus 6y minus 10y is minus 16y equal 30 minus 30 is 0. At this point, we can find the value of y because we have one single term on the left-hand side, one single term on the right-hand side. And how do we do that? We divide both sides by the coefficient of y, that is everything beside y, so that we can have y alone. So divide both sides by minus 16, not just 16 alone. We want to ensure that y is standing on its own. So by minus 16. So we have minus 16y divided by minus 16 equal 0 divided by minus 16. So that minus 16 will cancel out minus 16 and say y is equal 0 divided by minus 16 is 0, right? So we have the value of our y to equal 0. Now, we've gotten the value of y. To get the value of x, you can now substitute the value of y into any of these equations, either equation 1, equation 2, or equation 3. This will be our equation 3. This will be our equation 3. The value for x we got, right? So we have x equal 10 minus 2y over 5, where you now substitute the value of y into any of the equations. So for me, I will substitute y into equation 3. And our equation 3 says x equal 10 minus 2y over 5. So what that means is that our y is equal 0. So I take y out, I bring 0 in. So that means my x is equal 10 minus 2, y is gone, 0 is in, over 5. And this gives us 10, 2 times 0 is 0 over 5. So that my x is equal 10 over 5. And if you divide through, we say x is equal 2. Now, that means that the solution for equation 1 is x equal to y equal 0. Now, if you want to confirm whether you are right, you substitute the values of x and y into any of the two equations. We must get exactly the same thing on the right-hand side, right? So we have 5. Let's check now. Check. 5x plus 2y equal 10. X is equal to, right? So we have 5, 2 plus 2y is 0 equal 10. So we have 10 on the right hand side. Now on the left hand side, we have 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2 times 0 is 0 equal, we have 10 on the right hand side. 10 plus 10 is 10 on the left hand side, and then we have 10 on the right hand side. So that means that we are correct. Now, question 2 now says 4a plus b equal 8, 3a minus b equals 6. Now, I make b subject of formula in equation 1. Now, the reason why I'm making b subject of formula, you can make a form subject of formula, any variable, you can make any of the variables subject of formula. The reason why I chose b is because b is positive, and B has no coefficients, it will be easier for me to get to make B subject of formula, and it won't have fraction, right? It makes calculation easy for me, very easy. So that I have B will equal, just take 4A to the other side, and it becomes minus 4A, right? So we can call this equation 3. Now, since I made B subject of formula in equation 1, then I substitute this B in equation 2. So we say substitute B in equation 2. So that I have equation 2 says 3A minus B equal 6. So B is 8 minus 4A. So this B goes out, and then 8 minus 4A comes in. So that I'll have 3A minus is there already. It is B that is 8 minus 4A, not minus B. So let minus stay on its own, and let's leave B2 on its own. We have 8 minus 4A. Then it's equal 6. So then I have 3A minus times plus is minus 8. So minus times minus is plus 4A to equal 6. Now, we now have an equation with just one single variable, A. We can add it or subtract them now. However, we can't find A yet because we have 3 terms on the left-hand side. We have 1 term on the right-hand side. For us to find A, we must have 1 term on the left-hand side, 1 term on the right-hand side. So we just call it like terms. We would have 3A plus 4A on the left-hand side equals 6. So that minus 8 goes to the other side, it becomes plus 8. And then 3A plus 4A is 7A, which is equal 6 plus 8 is 14. Now we have 1 single term on the left-hand side, 1 single term on the right-hand side. We can now find A by dividing both sides by the coefficient of A, which is 7. And then we say A is equal to. Now that we've gotten the value of A, we can get the value of B by substituting A in any of the equations, be it equation 1, equation 2, or equation 3. I choose to use equation 3 because it's easier for me. So I say substitute A into equation 3. And that is B minus 8, B equal 8 minus 4A. So substitution means A goes out, right? And then 2 comes in, right? So that I now have B equal 8 minus 4. A is out now, and then 2 is in. And I have B equal 8 minus 4 times 2 is 8. And then my B will equal 0. To confirm whether we are right, check any of the equations. We must have exactly the same thing on the right-hand side as well as on the left-hand side. We have A equal to B equal 0. Using equation 1, we have 4A plus B equal 8. 4A is 2 plus B is what? 0. On the right hand side, we have 8. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 0 equal 8. On the left hand side, we have 8 plus 8. We have 8, and we have 8 on the right hand side. So that means we are correct. We can also use equation 2 to check, right? Well, we have 3A minus B equal 6. 3A is 2 minus B is 0 equal 6. On the left hand side, we have 3 times 2, 6 minus 0 equals 6. On the left hand side, we have 6 minus 0, we have 6 equal as well as 6 on the right hand side. So that means we are absolutely correct. You can also use equation 3. B equal 8 minus 4A. We know that B is what? 0. So we have 0 on the left hand side. Equal 8 minus 4. A is what? 2. So we have 0 on the left hand side equal 8 minus 4 times 2 is 8 on the right hand side. So on the left hand side, we already have 0 equal 8 minus 8 is also 0. So if you look at it, we have exactly 0 on the left hand side, exactly 0 on the right hand side. And that makes our solution correct. Thank you for watching. Please do to subscribe and follow us across our social media pages at Goddan School of Mathematics. If you find any mathematics difficult and you need explanation, or you need a community where you can ask your mathematics questions and get answers, please send us a WhatsApp message on this number 09015374417, and then we'll be ready to attend to your questions by adding it to our math community. Till I come your way next time, bye for now.